Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. This is episode 3 of the Train More Play Less podcast. First of all, as always, we want to thank you guys for tuning in and listening. Jason and I are really excited to keep this thing going and just add more value to the whole entire podcast itself. This week, we're launching the Train More Play Less podcast on the Monday. Every Wednesdays, we'll be answering the questions for the podcast. That'll give you guys 2 days to actually give us the questions. But just make sure the questions are in. If you want to obviously hit the topic points, we're going to try to cover everything we can. But today's topic for the Train More Play Less is going to be overview of the whole thing. We've been getting a lot of questions on what actually is the overview. What are we getting as coaches, or what are we getting as players?
Yeah, well, the big thing I want to clarify is, because I think the biggest question is when you hear train more, play less, everyone thinks that we're not going to play games, and that's wrong. I mean, games are an important piece, to be successful. We have to play games. I just think that we don't have to play as many games a year of what's being played out there, so coming up with a number of games per age, I think that has to take place. And that's the big thing behind Train More, Play Less, is keeping it balanced of, the training with the games, and not just training and not playing any games, or not just playing games with no training. A good balance of all that. So that this really started. It's kind of weird how this was created. I mean, it's one day, one of the parents, they're like, I forget how it went, but they just asked me like, your program's different, from everyone, and I'm like, yeah, we just train more and we just play less, and it was just nonchalant, just came out of my mouth, and from there I'm like, yeah, that's what we are. Like, we do train more and we play less. And this is something that we're just trying to create. I mean, it's nothing like I invented, right? It's just stuff that is being done at the next level, whether it's college, or high school, that we have got away from. We've got away from the development. We've got away from letting kids play multiple sports. We've got away from just letting kids be kids, right? So I've seen that. I've been doing this for 7-8 years, and I've been traveling around, all over the country, different states, playing baseball, and I've seen that everything has disappeared, from the old ways of, the value system. I mean, baseball is, our sport. Everyone says, hey, baseball's a national pastime. It's our sport, right? And back in the day, it's the good character, the role model, having good morals. Like these were all, characteristic traits that you had to have, or that was, you were a professional athlete, or you were in those levels. Like that's what you looked at, and I think we've got away from that value system, and it's damaging, our youth, is damaging our sport, and you could see all the articles and stuff that we talk about. It's just our system is broken, so that's a big thing of how Train More, Play Less, came about. Like I always tell people, I didn't invent anything.
No.
I'm just the one who is standing up for what is right, for how the sport has been played for many years, and just trying to get it back to where we could have, get our sport and its teachings back.
So talk to me. So it's I know that Train More, Play Less is not just for a single group. The way I understand it is for players and coaches and teams. So what are let's just start with the teams. What would a team, which can consist of all the players and the coaches, what would they be getting if they become a Train More, Play Less organization?
Well, the big thing with the teams is what we're doing is, first of all, I don't want just to bring on people because it's a popular thing right now, right? And everyone's talking about it, whether good or negative. Like, that's not what this is about. I want to talk with these coaches, right? And a big thing what I'm doing is I'm actually, before I even talk about the Train More, Play Less, I'm talking to them about their program. I want to know what they're about, right? And and then, you know, if they're a program that fits, you know, because there's a lot of people out there that are doing things right, just like us, right? So we're not just saying it's just us. There's a lot of good programs out there that already are pretty similar or doing things that we're doing. They just don't have a title behind it of Train More Play Less, right? So these are the people that we're trying to find in the country and talk with them and partner up with them, right? We're trying to build a network between good coaches out there, good programs, and get them involved, you know, to where we as the coaching staff, you know, could give our youth the best opportunity to succeed, you know, not just with baseball, but in life. So if we bring on a program, those are things that we're going to be able to do. We're going to connect that program with our program through, you know, linkage of websites. We're going to, as a coaching staff, you know, we're going to provide training, you know, to our kids, the proper training. You know, we're always going to be training ourselves so we could give our kids the best opportunities. We're not going to overuse our kids. I mean, there's going to be a guideline. So if you come with the Train More Play Less, we have the whole program is already it's already set out. There's so many guidelines, you know, depending, you know, how many innings you could pitch, from how many innings you could catch, to how many games you're going to play, you know, depending on how old you are. And then also we have a system of what you need to know when you're 8 to go into 9U baseball, you know. So, you know, it's a whole system that it's 7-8 years of, you know, what we failed at, what we did good, and I put together, you know, pretty much a program, a governing system, that when we bring these programs in, they're going to get this whole system, from how to run your program, you know, how all the documentation, everything you're going to need, player packets, code, you know, rules, all that type of stuff, to a whole outline and expectations to be Train More Play Less, a whole guidelines, you know. But there's so much that we're trying to do, and like you mentioned, we're going to grow with it, you know. You know, yeah, that's the big thing, and then also, you know, the big thing behind it is we want to make sure that we are instilling, you know, the value system, because I think for us, it's not just the baseball side. You know, I talked to a lot of the coaches, and nowadays, when, you know, there's not so much money, there's never been that much money for baseball, for scholarships or anything like that. I think there's 11.7 for 30 kids, but now it's more of, you have to have good grades and, you know, to be able to even play at places, because they're only giving you a certain percentage for baseball and the rest is coming from academics. So, you know, we really want to make sure that we're stressing the academic side with these kids, you know, stressing, you know, doing community work, you know, building pretty much a complete package, building a complete athlete, a complete, you know, a good human being. So when we're talking to these college coaches, we let them know, hey, he's a Train More Play Less kid. And they're immediately going to know what a Train More Play Less kid is. You know, they know they're not overused, or, you know, they got character, they got morals, they got values, you know, they're academically prepared, you know.
And that's what I think I appreciate the most about it, is when Jason gave me the little booklet that I went through, and you can tell it's 7-8 plus years of just trial and error and getting this thing where it's so leaned out. But the very first section is pretty much his why and why he's doing it. And the thing I appreciate the most out of it is you're emphasizing the scholar athlete, and it's like you just said, because there's not many scholarships, so you want to actually make money and get a scholarship and do the best you can to save your money for college, to get through college, and we all get that. But what you emphasize is, we're not doing these things to get you to be a professional athlete. We're doing these things to make you a better person, right? Because not many people, like we talked about, you do the percentage of who goes pro, who makes money off baseball. The biggest thing is, I know a lot of successful entrepreneurs that look at it and say, what I learned in sports got me to start this business. What I learned in sports taught me the characteristics to persevere and to do different things that I wouldn't have learned. So the value of everything that I've read it is, you're showing the kids the steps of, this is what your goals are, and you're giving them the best opportunities. You're not saying, yes, 100% you're going to be pro if you do X, Y, and Z, because everybody knows that's not the truth. There's so many different factors that come in with that. So I personally appreciated the whole value on the why you're doing it, because it's not just about, it's bigger than baseball. And it's just, you're using baseball for the actual principle to teach the kids it, to give them the best foot forward. And obviously, if you have the talent, you have everything going for you, and you come to this program, you're going to be better. you will get those scholarships, you will do those things if you have everything else going with it. But we're also got the kids that don't have the athletic ability, don't have the God-given gifts, and what are we doing after they leave our program? We're going to have a smile on our face because we taught them more, I personally think, more valuable things than just the baseball and getting a scholarship and getting all that stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, it's similar to the, I mean, I might be saying it wrong or saying it wrong, but like the school system, like no child's left behind. You know, the thing that it's the same thing with sport. Like there's so many kids that love playing baseball, right? I mean, it's our sport. But right now, during this time, there's so many kids not playing it. And like I said, I think it's because of all, you know, everything that's going on. Like we got to make it, not saying like fun as in let's make it soft, because that's not, you know, that's not what we're trying to do. But make it fun again. Like, you know, making sure that these kids are able to do other things, like to play other sports, you know. And, you know, like I said, there's so much with it. Like I said, there's so many kids that call and they want to fly out here and they want to train and they want to do all this stuff. And it's tough. Everyone's not going to be able to financially pay to fly out here and train and do what we're doing. So, you know, making Train More Play Less and being able to provide information and videos of training and everything that we're going to be doing with, you know, people that become either through their team become a member of Train More Play Less or just individually, you know, it's going to be huge. You know, like I said, a lot of these kids and families reach out to me like, hey, when are you coming here? When are you coming to these states? I mean, you know, we're barely getting it off the ground. But I think if we could, you know, touch all these people, you know, through our website and social media, it's going to be huge. I mean, just everything that we do, you know, from the off season, you know, how we take care of our kids, our training, our arm care program, our philosophies in hitting, base running. And I mean, the importance, like I said, you mentioned it, that's our big thing, is more than baseball. I mean, we have full on academic award ceremonies here, just like if you're, you know, in college, you know, or high school, you know, that stuff means a lot to these kids, you know. And also the kids that don't, you know, get the 3.5 or 4.0, you know, they don't get anything. And that's a terrible feeling to be one of the only kids sitting on the ground and everybody else is up on stage. But that kid that's sitting on the ground, the next time we do it, he's up on stage.
100%.
And so it's just those things that we're trying to teach before they get into real life, and they're, you know, they're able to adjust and adapt and do some good things for our country and for themselves. And
isn't that life? I mean, the concept of the kid on the ground didn't get the 3.5, and you see a lot of parents like, oh, you're alienating them, but that's life. That's life. If you don't perform, if you don't do it, your butt is on that ground, and it's up to you to put your feet on the ground and stand up and go do something so your butt isn't on that ground. And I think that's just the principles, is you reward the people that are putting the work and you give them everything you can do to be successful, but you have to strap on the belt, you have to start building, you have to put in the work. Yeah. That's just all it's about. So you mentioned the whole thing about, you know, the why you're doing it, and then the principles itself too. I think the core thing is coaches don't really know how to regulate the kids. And I think from the catching and pitching standpoint, you have those regulations in there too, and what to do with them and all that. And so I think that's very valuable. So for a coach's standpoint, maybe the new coach out there, the new organization that maybe is just like doesn't really know, it's all over the board, they're not organized. I mean, how could this really help them?
Yeah, I mean, it's really I wish that I had someone that did this for me 7-8 years ago, because like I said, I'm still failing today, you know. It's not every day a win, you know. But what I've done is I've taken all the failures and the stuff that I've succeeded at, and like you said, you've seen the book, and put it all together to where we could help the coaches out there, you know, not have to go through all that, and then really just put them in a situation where they could just start getting to developing our youth, you know, the right way. Why have all these coaches coming out, and, you know, why should I be like, hey, I shouldn't share this information, or I shouldn't share my successes or my failures to keep a coach down because he's going to take my money? I mean, this is a $15 billion industry. Everybody could get their little pie, and everyone could be successful. Like, so I'm just thinking of, if I could help out that many new programs, or that many programs that are out there that are not, you know, organized or not doing things right, or maybe they're doing some stuff right and they need help in other areas. If I could help them, then I'm helping our future.
100%.
Right? I'm helping everything we're talking about. I'm helping our sport. I'm helping these kids, you know, for later on in their life. So that's a big reason why we put this together. But I mean, we're going to give these new programs everything from start to finish. Like, here's everything. Here's every piece of document you're going to need to be organized and run a successful program, from coaching budgets to budgets of your program, from rules, regulations, everything you should need, forms that parents should be signing so you don't get sued. I mean, it's the complete package, the business plan, and then on the other flip side is, here's the Train More Play Less packet of everything that we do as far as how we regulate each age, what age should be learning, and by the time they're done with that age to be successful at the next age, and if you keep that program going, by the time they hit 14 and 15s, they're still playing baseball, and we've done what we say we're going to do. We're going to develop them so they can continue to play the sport, right? But I think we all just talk about what we're going to do. Nothing's on paper. There's nothing outlined. There's no program to make sure that we follow and do what we're doing. So this has everything in there, and like I said, it took a lot of time, but I don't want to keep it just here.
Yeah.
I want to be able to help everyone that I want to help, that want to be part of this. And like I said, we have a lot of programs that are interested in it, and talking, and I mean, we're gonna be partnering up with some facilities throughout the country that are gonna have, because it's not just the teams, it's for everything that's involved with baseball. Facilities, I mean, we have a couple facilities right now that are gonna be opening up that want to be a Train More Play Less facility. Everyone's, you might think, why a facility? Because it's more than baseball, man. It's not a facility, it's a home. Like, you're bringing in the youth, you're teaching them the values, the character system. When they come in that place, they have a place to to stay there. You're bringing them off the street, they're not getting in trouble. Like, it's a home. Like, it's not just a team that's going to be able to provide the kids everything that we're trying to teach them. A facility can. If you're just an individual player that you play for a program that doesn't want to be involved with this, we want you a part of this as well. So we're going to have so many things that are going to be available to whether you're a facility, whether you're an organization, whether you're just a player, a coach, whatever it is. I mean, we're going to have everything, bunch of things available for everybody.
If you're a coach out there in a program or organization, you know how much paperwork goes into it, how much tedious work goes into it. Jason did something for you to make everything leaned out and make everything just step by step, so you guys just know exactly what to do, and it'll free up your time too.
It's not just me, right? Mm-hmm. So this is what I've put out there. I want to get people that might have a little bit more knowledge than me, and I want us to. This is a starting point.
Yes.
So I want to get the people that want to be a part of this and do things right, and create, whether you want to call it a board or you want to call it a governing system, whatever, and we could always put, all our thoughts together and create a better system for the future as well. So I don't want people thinking like, what we've created, that's just what it is. Like, this is just the basic outline, and we want people to get involved and be able to add to it and better it, and come together and do that type of stuff. And, but again, like I said, it's not just the playing stuff that we're attacking. There's a lot of bad training out there as well. So, I mean, just training, and if you're training the wrong way or with doing the wrong things could hurt you, just like we're saying, playing 100 games could hurt you. So, this is the stuff that we want to do. This is not just going to be put together like, we're talking like, I know you mentioned before, I'm reading a bunch of articles, I'm talking with a bunch of coaches, I'm getting opinions on, on different things from pro players or pro coaches, and just trying to create, a good system, because like I said, there's so much training out there as well that I don't understand, what's going on out there, and this is everything that we want to attack, man. I mean, that we want to better, from the training side to the game side, to the more than baseball side of, making sure that these kids are academically ready, make sure they're prepared for life, make sure they're leaders, not followers. I mean, there's so much that this program is going to offer. And again, we want to get everybody involved. And like I said, the more people we could get involved with it, at the end of the day, it's just going to better our country. Like, we need to stop worrying about, top tier is the best program. This program's the best program. This guy's the best coach. Let's just start worrying about, let's make our country the best baseball country, 100%. Right? Or just the best country, Yeah.
And I think that from you, I think I'm talking for you, but I think the core value is, you're focused on the kids first, and you understand that you can't do this by yourself. This isn't you being like, I want to create this so I want everybody to know that I'm the guy who did this. I don't think you care about that. I think you want to make a change. And I think that's why we're saying we want to make community. We want you guys reaching out, positive or negative, because we want to correct ourselves if something is off. We want to also, keep going forward. And I think the perspective is, you just want the best for the kids and the youth. That's what it comes down to. And being selfish and being internal within yourself and saying that, I just want the money out of this or want that. A lot of coaches are doing that, and that's why you're exploding yourself and saying, I'm giving everything I worked my ass off for 8 years off, and this is what it is. This is what the business plan is. Here you go, coach down the street 5 miles away who I'm competing against next weekend. Here's everything I do, buddy. Right? I think that's people need to look at actually what's happening. So reach out to us. I mean, we always say that, but we want to create that. So like I said, all in all, we're going to be covering the main topics of Trainer Playlist. There's so much to go into with it. So we want to give you guys kind of an overview. So thanks for listening in. As always, leave a comment. We will be live again the following Monday. Questions on Wednesdays as well. We look forward to hearing you guys, and we will see you guys next week.